coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But coach told me I can never miss a Monday. DJ Truth.
Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this week with you, and we're really excited about today's show. We want to give everyone an opportunity to get involved in tonight's broadcast. Take your smartphone, record yourself asking Coach Mike a relevant real estate question, submit it to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show hotline on the number you see on the screen. And our super producer, Jay Joseph, may very well choose your question to be answered on tonight's show. I want to thank you all, man, and I want to make sure I take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, but he is also the co-founder of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank him for carving some time out of his schedule and sitting in with us on the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Michael G. Davis. How are you?
Rick, what's going on, man? Super excited. It's Monday.
It's good to hear you, Coach Mike. Man, how you been?
So, man, look, excited as always. We had a very busy week last week, but look, it is just a phenomenal time in real estate. All right. Man, we're out here, man. We're super excited, to just be able to speak to the people today. So I know we got some good stuff that's on the books.
Coach Mike, man, great thing about being able to do this show with you on Mondays is that so often we have the opportunity to present and do this show on different holidays throughout the year. So with today being President's Day, what type of feeling does that give you? What type of things have been going on in the world of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm? And how was this past weekend for you, Coach Mike?
You know what, Rick, man, I'm so glad that you asked that question. We were very busy on this past week, and it's something that is extremely important to us at Brooks and Davis is activity. We know that activity contributes a lot to your success. As a brokerage firm, we want to be able to provide those opportunities to be active. So, last week was just another example of that activity. I mean, on Tuesday, we had our Real to Life podcast. We interviewed our agent from Austin. He spoke a lot about the developments that he's doing out there. So crazy excited about that. On Wednesday, we actually went out to Perry Homes, and they did a phenomenal job of educating our realtors on the construction process when it comes to building new homes. They allowed us to see the beautiful Balmoral, which is up in Humble. That was great. With our relationships with the Houston Black Real Estate Association, we participated in their Lunch and Learn, which was that Thursday, as well as their HUD certificate class. We also, on that Saturday, we had our pre-home buyer session where we helped a number of homeowners understand what's about to happen as they begin this journey to demystify a lot of what is believed in the marketplace, as well as continuation of our HUD certificate class. So, you know what, man, it's great to be able to have a holiday with as much activity and busyness that we did over the last week with the kids not being in school. So, it seemed like it was perfect time.
The cool thing about all the activities that you just illustrated for the audience is that all of those activities are interactive and open to everyone at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Is open to anyone in the community who's interested in learning more about buying, selling, and investing in real estate. And one of the main focuses of this early part of the year has been getting involved with those new home builders, going out, seeing different communities. So just for our audience, Coach Mike, can you just give them an idea of how the new home real estate market is right now and some of the value that's actually out there for those first time and those who are interested in buying their first new construction home?
No, it's a lot of opportunity, Rick. I would encourage anyone, if you don't own a home right now, there's a number of narratives that's in the marketplace that would attempt to convince you to wait. And in my opinion, Rick, waiting is never an option. It's never the option that you should that you should partake on. Mm-hmm. So, what I would tell people, Rick, is, get with a real estate professional, obviously someone here at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, or just somebody that's going to care about your well-being, that's going to care about making sure that you're educated in what is in the marketplace. Make sure someone that has the relationships that can tap you into the resources and the tools that are accessible to people that are new home buyers, or maybe even buyers that are moving up, and they're moving to the next phase of their purchase. Right now, new home construction and new home builders are very, very open to collaboration. They're open to working with people and structuring things in such a way to where it's beneficial for those in today's marketplace. So do not listen to the negative Nancy's out there as it relates to purchasing a home. It's always, and I mean always, Rick, going to be better to buy than it is to lease.
Absolutely. And to your point, Coach Mike, a lot of the home builders, especially here in the greater Houston area, have been overly generous as far as the type of buyer incentives and the type of ways they're willing to partner with potential buyers to make sure they can get into a home of their choice at a value that makes sense for them. So definitely, I urge everyone out there, take advantage of these Brooks and Davis road trips to these new home communities, because if you've not had the opportunity to be educated as far as the new home construction process, this is a great opportunity for you not to feel as if you're going in alone. You can go in with licensed real estate professionals who can not only assist you, but also get some of those questions answered for you that you might be a little nervous to ask on your own. So
yeah, and
take advantage.
You know what, Rick, man, just to chime in, a lot of people feel like there aren't any new home construction opportunities within the city of Houston city limits. And that's just not the case. Like, we have 2 builders right now that we're working on that are building brand new homes. And they're building these brand new homes. They're like literally right outside the loop 610. And through the city of Houston's large tract division, you can actually get big incentives for these homes that are contributing up to, close to $100,000 off on these particular properties. So I don't want people just to think that the new home construction opportunities are just in the suburbs.
Oh, no, that's definitely. Thank you so much for enlightening us, Coach, because like you say, that prevailing theory, some of that water cooler talk will lead you to believe that you have to stay 30, 40, 50 miles from downtown to be able to have a brand new constructed home. So Thank you so much for sharing that, man. Coach, the great thing about having this particular platform that we build and hosting this alongside of you is that I feel like we keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the world of agents, brokers, and buyers and sellers. And the questions that we've received on the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show hotline, Coach Mike, center around some of those topics that I'm just sure members of our audience have been just itching to have your experience and expertise to shed some light on some of those things that they may have been interested in finding out more about too. So Coach Mike, as always, I want to thank you in advance for giving us the luxury of your insight and experience. And if you're ready, Coach Mike, I want to get to question number 1.
Let's go, man. I'm ready.
Coach Mike, What strategies do you recommend for managing difficult personalities in real estate transactions? And when is it appropriate to terminate a client relationship due to disrespect or wasted time?
You know what? Sometimes, Rick, man, I believe that people are eavesdropping on conversations that I'm having with my agents. Like, I literally had this conversation with one of my agents about a friend of theirs that they're currently working with. And it could be perceived as a difficult personality. This is the advice that I gave them, Rick. It's all about perspective. This is what I asked that agent. I said, do you want to help them? Right. And I was like serious, like, hey, like real quick. Cause at first they kind of laughed it off. Like, of course I want to help. I was like, no. Do you truly want to help them? Because that's key. Now they at first was like, well, not really. Cause it seemed like it's a headache. I said, all right, well, this is what I would, go ahead and let them know that this may be something that's, kind of, too much, something that you're not able to work with or work through. Just kind of, let them go. Like, it's, if it's not something that you want to do, like, don't do it. Right. And the reason that I gave them that advice, Rick, was because if you're going to be working with someone and it is a perceived difficult personality, and I keep saying perceived because it's really about how you label it, right? Mm-hmm. But to you, if it's perceived that it's a difficult personality, then you have to really want to help them. Right. If you're going to choose to help them, okay? The last thing you want to do is choose to help someone and it's not an perceived difficult situation and you continue to move forward because like I told them, Rick, it's not going to work out. I mean, everything that you're trying to avoid, because one of the reasons that they didn't want to move forward was because they wanted to salvage the relationship. And I said, everything that you're trying to protect is not going to work out. You're going to lose the relationship. You're going to waste a bunch of time. You're going to get super frustrated, right? And it's not going to end. You're not going to get paid. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to truly ask yourself, do I want to help this person? All right. So now, if the answer to that question, Rick, is yes, I do want to help this person, then at that point, you got to change your attitude. You got to change your attitude. Because, see, you can't control what the person does. You can't control them making any adjustments. You have to change your attitude. And you have to come from a place of, I'm just wanting to help. Now, here's the reality, Rick. Some people won't let them help you. And that's okay. There's no love lost. It's all good. If a person won't let them help you, I mean, they won't let you help them. What you have to do is that you just have to provide the solutions. You just have to provide the guidance, right? In our group coaching session today, we talked about leadership and leadership being a decision. See, it's all about choice, Rick. Mm-hmm. All of this stuff is choice, right? You choosing to work with the people, you choosing to help them, you choosing to lead them into the solution is all choice. The moment that you feel like you're forced to do it or you don't have a choice to do it, that's when you're doomed. It's doomed from the start, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to recommending strategies on managing difficult personalities, really nothing changes. Whether it's a difficult personality or whether it's an easy personality or whatever the personality, nothing changes on your end because you're a professional and you're here to provide information to help people make the best decisions that they feel that they need to make. You're there to provide them with resources, to provide them with tools, provide them with some motivation, maybe some inspiration, right? To provide them with some coaching. Like you guys are coaches too. Mm-hmm. So you're here to provide them with all of that. But if the individual is not willing to take action, you can't force them to do that. If the individual is not willing to focus on what they want, because what you focus on is what you get, if they're not willing to do that, you can't do nothing about that. The only thing that you can do is provide new information, new resources, like I said, motivation, inspiration. So do what you can do. You do what you can do, right? And then how it lays out It's just how it lays out, and you have to be okay with that. So to the second part of that question, Rick, when is it appropriate to terminate a client relationship? When you choose or decide that you want to terminate it.
Right.
Right? There is no appropriate or inappropriate. If you decide I don't want to do this anymore, right? Regardless of, because it mentioned due to disrespect, you could just decide that you don't want to do it. Right? You could just make that choice that this isn't working. Right? And a lot of times when you do make the decision to terminate a relationship, it ends up being the best thing for you and the client, because there's some toxicity that's being created. So if, I know I said a lot as it related to that question, Rick, but it really just all boils down to choice, right? Mm-hmm. When you decide that this is the direction that we need to move, then just move in that direction.
We've all been in that situation before. If you work with enough clients, eventually you'll find some that through maybe fear, anxiety, they may not necessarily seem as if they're working along the same path or pulling in the rope in the same direction that you are as a professional. But to your point, Coach Mike, I think it's important for all those licensed real estate professionals out there in the audience to remember that it's always paramount to maintain professionalism and not to allow what a client or a potential client is giving off from an energy perspective to affect how you go about doing what it is that you do professionally. And that's why, Coach, I want to commend you so much for mentioning that it's everyone's personal decision what type of attitude they're going to have.
Right.
It's our individual decisions to decide what type of day we're going to have.
Right.
And that works regardless of what's happening in the environment around us. So I urge everyone in our audience to heed your advice, have a woosah moment next time that they feel as if a tour or a phone conversation is spiraling out of control. And I do also, and no one asked about this specifically, but I want to urge everyone in the audience that when it comes to text messaging and email, sometimes you can't always predict someone's intent by what they text you. So try not to take text messages or things like that entirely too personally as well.
Well, I think what really helps in all situations and circumstances, Rick, has to go to that first question that I asked my agent earlier. And that is, do you really want to help them? Right. If whatever you do is really coming from a place of you care and you want to help them, then everything else is going to fall in line, because sometimes it's just the client has to be reminded or the fact that you care. That sometimes they just have to be it has to be revalidated.
Right.
That, I'm doing this because I want to see you win. Absolutely. I want to see you successful. So, coming from that place, at that point, it's just a matter of kind of filling in some gaps in communication, which is a lot of times where it comes from. It's just gaps in communication.
Absolutely, man. I'm sure there's so many members of our audience that felt like this question, we were speaking directly to them. And I feel that the questions that were submitted this week are all going to touch on subjects that lean on a pressure point for most of the members of our audience. So that's why I'm so excited about this week's episode of Monday Night Live. So Coach Mike, man, without any further ado, man, let's get to question number 2.
I'm ready, man. Let's go.
Coach Mike, what are some effective strategies for managing an unpredictable schedule as a real estate agent? And how can agents balance the need for flexibility with the need to maintain a consistent routine and stay productive? Coach Mike, the never-ending time management question.
Rick, it's so funny, man. I swear to God, Monday Night Live is eavesdropping on my day, because I had this conversation with one of my top producing agents earlier today. And shout out to a couple of people, Rick, man, that are there, they're commenting, I'm Trophy on YouTube, and my man Andre Berard, Yes to Real Estate, is checking us out, man. So we appreciate you all participating in today's Monday Night Live. But to the question, right? And if people haven't realized this by now, I pay a lot of attention to language, right? To the language that we utilize. Okay. So here's the thing about time management. You can't manage time because you can't stop time and you can't start time. Time is going to go, period. So the only thing that you really can manage within the parameters of time is you. So really, we really should be talking about self-management within the constraints of time, since we can't control time, right? Mm-hmm. And then they talked about an unpredictable schedule as a real estate agent. Well, I don't know anybody that has a predictable schedule. Like, life is unpredictable, period. It's unpredictable. So the advice that I gave to my agent earlier, again, leadership, this top producing agent, been doing it, very successful. So this isn't a new agent. Like, this is somebody that know how to make money in this business. But you know what, Rick, every now and again, man, we all need to hear a different perspective, right, to get us to reframe what we're thinking and what we're seeing. So, what I told this individual is look, man, understanding the fact that you can't control time, number one, and number two, life is unpredictable. And the one guarantee about life is that it's always going to show up. It's going to show up, period. So to try to adjust to the ebbs and flows of life, again, point of frustration. You're going to get frustrated. So I felt like this was one of the best analogies that someone used. Now, they didn't use it as it related to life. They used it as it related to gentrification, but it applies. I love it for when we're talking about when life shows up. Okay. It said gentrification, trying to stop gentrification is like trying to stop the Pacific Ocean. He said going to the shore of the California shore and going up to the Pacific Ocean and saying, I'm going to stop it from flowing. It's not going to happen, right? He said the way you should handle it is that don't try to stop it. You need to surf it. You need to get your surfboard and you need to surf the currents. You need to surf the waves. That's the same thing when it comes to life, when it comes to managing the unpredictability of schedules, of life, of things happening with our families, with our kids, with our clients, just with our deals and our transactions. You surf it, right? You ebb and flow, right? You become a river and you maneuver. You utilize your behavioral flexibility. Because what I know, Rick, is a lot of times when problems and situations show up, if we go head on with that situation, we become closed-minded to the solutions that we're looking for to get past those challenges. But when we begin to roll with the punches, when we begin to flow with the currents, it keeps us open-minded to when we see those solutions and those opportunities to right the ship or to keep things afloat. So when it comes to effective strategies, it starts with your mindset and your acceptance that you can't control it all. That's why we get bent up. We get bent up in, I'm in control of the schedule. And then when I get thrown that monkey wrench, then all hell breaks loose because now I'm trying to maintain my control versus saying I ain't in control in the begin with. So whatever happens, I'm just going to move with it just to ensure that I'm still moving in the direction that I want to go. And that's really all it's about. Are you moving in the direction that you want to go as it relates to your schedule, as it relates to your business, as it relates to your productivity? Are you still moving in the direction that you want to go?
The interesting part about that point, Coach Mike, is because you're illustrating the value of experience. When you've had certain experiences and they've happened more than twice, you come to realize that in business, there are no certainties.
Right.
But it does also allow you to be grounded enough to understand that these small challenges aren't the end of the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're new or you're inexperienced and you're confronting a certain challenge for the first time, it can seem like the Mount Everest of real estate problems. But to your point, Coach Mike, I urge everyone to exhale and be fluid, flow like water, because all these challenges that you embark upon on your real estate career and your real estate journey, they're all positives. They're all things that you can add to your utility belt, add to your bank of experiences so that you can better serve the public. You can better mentor younger agents, and you can also better motivate and inspire that next generation of realtors, because now they can come to you just like they come to Coach Mike or myself to vent those frustrations, and you can give them relevant advice on how to solve that problem, move forward, and not let that be something that drags down the productivity of their week, their month, or their quarter. Because go ahead, Coach.
Well, let me jump in, Rick, because there was another part to that question when it talked about the flexibility and then the routine, right? So the way, and I really want to address that question, Rick, because there's a lot of people that face that, and they see it as opposing forces, and they're not opposing, right? The routine is key because it's a plan, right? It is when I sit down and I think about how do I want to execute tomorrow? So I'll use it like daily, right? Because I encourage anyone to prepare your day the day before, the night before. Prepare what your plan is, right? You're approaching it with a thought out plan. That's the routine. That's the structure, right? But then when tomorrow arrives and you begin to execute, that's when you have to be ready and understand that all this is a plan. It's not the absolute. And that's where people get tripped up, because upon the execution of the plan, they're so rigid in it having everything for that day having to fit within the parameters of the plan, not understanding that that's not possible because of the unpredictability of it. So maintaining that open-mindedness around, I'm going to start with the plan, but as things begin to maneuver and adjust, I'm going to flow with the maneuver and the adjustments.
Right. Outstanding advice. It's funny because you mentioned it earlier. It's almost as if these questions are coming directly from the transcript of some of your sit downs and one-on-ones last week and in prior weeks. So it's amazing. And I'm just proud of the fact that we're touching on subjects that are so right now, so relevant, and things that are really weighing on the real estate public and the real estate community as a whole. So that's the great thing about doing this, Coach Mike. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your experience with us.
Absolutely.
Once again, big, huge shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Big, huge shout out to everybody checking us out on YouTube and Facebook, man. It just gives me such an elevated sense of pride that we are actually here in real time interacting with the real estate community and sharing those thoughts, that advice, and hoping that everyone who hears the sound of my voice and your voice can take in something and hear something that truly can make them a better professional and a better real estate pro. So, man, Coach Mike, man, this third question, man, I hope it's as good as the first two, man, because I'm really been excited so far.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's check out question number 3. Coach Mike, what specific steps do you recommend for real estate agents to effectively sell themselves to potential clients? And how can agents identify and leverage their individual strengths to stand out in a competitive market?
Oh, man, these some long questions, Rick.
It's amazing, though, because this takes me back to, I want to say, maybe a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
You spoke about the importance of having that inner confidence,
Yeah.
even as a new agent, and you're out here promoting and illustrating why you are the best choice for those who are looking for a real estate professional to work with. So, Coach, just please, for our audience that didn't have opportunity to check out that episode, just enlighten them as far as some of the things that you shared previously that you'll share now.
No. I love it, man. So, again, looking for verbiage, right?
Right.
One of the things that they said is this highly competitive market, right? So I don't think that the market is competitive, right? As it pertains to the value that I bring to the marketplace, right? And now this is what I mean by that, Rick. Nobody is going to outdo me being me, period. Like there's no competition as it relates to me being me and what I provide to any client relationship. That's that inner confidence that we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. The one thing that levels the playing field when it comes to a brand new agent and a seasoned agent is not knowledge, right? Because a brand new agent can't compete with a seasoned agent on knowledge. So there's no point in doing that. Although it's crazy that most brand new agents, that's the first thing that they try to get. They try to get a bunch of knowledge. But, look, I've been in this thing 20 years. Like, how you gonna match my 20 years of knowledge in 2 months or 1 month? Like, you don't have enough time. You can't approach it that way. Now, what you can do, though, is that you can compete with me as it relates to your level of care, right? How much more can you care for the client and the client's well-being than me? Because one of the things that more seasoned agents the traps that they tend to fall into is because they're so knowledgeable, because they're so skilled and good at what they do, they sometimes forget that component of my client needs to feel like I care about this situation, this transaction, right? I've done hundreds, thousands of transactions. But for them, this is their first transaction, right? And I need to still care about that one transaction that the same way they care about it. Right. It's easier, honestly, Rick, for a new agent to do that than a seasoned agent because we have so much under our belts. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to selling yourself, especially as a new agent, when it comes to selling yourself to potential clients and customers, it's bring the level of intensity and energy to the table of I'm going to take care of you. I am certain that no one is going to take care of you and care about your real estate need than me. I am the best person to the table. Now, does that mean that you have to know everything? No. What it means is that if you don't know, you're going to go find out and then you're going to come back and tell them. And then if it's something else you don't know, you're going to go get that information and you're going to come back and tell them and you're going to take care of them. And then when you go find some additional information that you may feel is relative that they should know, you're going to let them know about it. And you're going to do whatever it takes to help guide them to a successful end result for their situation. You can do that day one. You can do that leave-in Pearson review just with your pass. You can do that at that moment. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to competition, and you would think it's more complicated than that, Rick. You would think that. But with the amount of interactions that I have on a daily basis with agents all over these years, it's not, I mean, it ain't that, most of them not doing it. Most of them not approaching it like that. When I think about the complaints that I get from customers about service, most people are not approaching it. So just that right there is a competitive edge that most people are overlooking, right? Yeah. Because agents believe that what the client cares about is what you know. But we've heard this cliche before, Rick. People don't know, they don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. We've heard that. We've said that, but then we don't execute from a place of understanding the power of that, Rick.
And I want to just double down on that particular point because to your earlier point about having confidence as a new agent and not feeling as if your knowledge or lack of experience should be a detriment when presenting your services. The thing that I would like everyone in our audience to be rest assured from that standpoint is that in the buying and selling community of potential clients, they may necessarily, to your point, Coach, feel as if a more experienced agent is going to have so much going on and so many clients that you won't be able to provide them your full undivided attention. And that gives those newer agents the opportunity to step in with their energy, their passion, and they can illustrate for clients how they're going to implement all the newest in technologies, everything that's out there to make sure no stone goes unturned and that they can be rest assured that they're getting the highest value and the best service possible. So for all those agents out there that may be struggling with presenting their service in a confident manner, keep that in mind. Use everything that you have as far as resources and make sure your energy, your commitment, and your passion is what shines through during that either listing presentation or buyer consultation.
Yeah. And, let me jump in real quick, Rick, because we're talking to the newer agents, but to my seasoned agents, you've gone through this business and you've met people, you've connected, you've learned about resources. You've talked to other individuals and tools. And as you're doing that, you need to be looking for opportunities that will set you apart in addition to how you care, right? We're giving that advice to new agents because they haven't been in the industry long enough to be exposed to these things that could set them apart. But to my seasoned agents, I want you to still approach this business from a standpoint of, how can I make myself more valuable to the marketplace? Because as you begin to identify those areas, those are the things that you want to build up when you're having these conversations with prospective buyers, when you're having these conversations with prospective sellers. What are those value propositions that you bring to the marketplace that either no one else is bringing, or they're not doing a good job of bringing it? They don't see the benefit or the value in bringing it from that perspective. Whatever it is, what is that thing of value that you bring to the marketplace that you're going to ensure nobody is going to outshine you in this component? You got to be, as you're going through this business and learning and getting exposed and getting more skilled and getting better, you got to be looking for that thing that's going to separate you from everybody else.
First thing, I want to urge everyone in the audience, if you are a licensed real estate professional, experienced, inexperienced, tenured, or brand new, share this episode, download it, save it. And any of your people that you've worked with, anyone that you might have been in real estate school with, share this episode with them, because all three of today's questions are so pertinent to what agents are going through on a day in, day out basis. I want everyone to have an opportunity to take advantage of the advice that you've been sharing today. So go to the Brooks and Davis TV page on YouTube, share this episode, email it, post it on your Facebook page, because this is the type of information that we want to share to everyone out there who is thirsty and hungry to be able to add extra tools to make them the best possible real estate professional they can be. We're at the part of the show, Coach Mike, where we try to give everyone who checks out the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show a preview of what they can expect on BND TV, an idea of what's going on this week so that they can get involved from that standpoint. So, Coach Mike, could you just share with the audience what's upcoming this week at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, what we can expect on BND TV, and how we can stay involved?
Absolutely, Rick, man. It's a phenomenal question. So look, gang, we're gonna stay very active this week, as we always do. Tomorrow, I'm going to be inviting as my guest Mr. Mason Lee and Mr. Alex DeClaire. They're going to be coming on the Real to Life podcast. So DJ and a sports fan, along with real estate professionals. They're going to be on the show tomorrow at 12:30. Matter of fact, I was just recently on their podcast last week. So you guys be looking out for me to be dropping some of the clips from me being on their show. So that's going to be on tomorrow at 12:30. And remember, we're going to be going live on our Facebook and our business page. This is a part of BND TV. Tomorrow, we're also going to be doing the Real Estate Happy Hour live. It's a lighthearted break from the day, from the hustle and the bustle. Jump online digitally with us. We're going to be hanging out at the High Rise. We call it the High Rise. We're going to have some adult libations, truly adult libations, going to be flowing digitally. But wherever you are, man, you can jump on your cell phone, you can jump on your computer, you can jump on your tablet and connect with us either through Facebook or YouTube and participate with our Real Estate Happy Hour live. We'll be talking about trending topics. We have a little bit of real estate that we discuss, but mainly it's just kind of going. It's like we call it real estate professionals talking about randomness. It's a little bit of shop talk, like when you go into the barbershop or going to the beauty shop and you just get into these random conversations. That's what our Real Estate Happy Hour live is all about. So we're doing that tomorrow at 2:30. So if you're available, jump on in. On Thursday, we're going to be bringing in Miss Tatiana Lee. She's with LA's Top Broker. She's going to be doing a lunch presentation at our central office near NRG. And she's just going to be talking about their process, how their process offers a personalized experience, their service, how they make the home buying process less time consuming. So that's phenomenal. And then they're focused on working with a wide variety of borrowers. So you all come in on Thursday. Remember, you do not have to be a member of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm to participate in our event. So this is also one of those that you can participate in on this Thursday in person. Come in and get you some lunch, or you also can connect online virtually through Zoom. Just make sure you go to the brooksanddavis.com page and RSVP so we make sure that we get you the information. So also on Thursday, we are going to be doing the Prime Real Estate Network book, Rick. So you want to tell them about the guests that you all have coming on the show this week?
Man, really exciting, man. I've had for the past couple Thursdays a very exciting co-host. I urge everybody to tune in because who I've had sitting in with me for the past couple of weeks is Mr. John Austin. He is a business consultant. He is the founder of the movement entitled Bank Ready, where as a real estate professional, mortgage lender, appraiser, or entrepreneur, or any small business owner, he gets your corporation set up where you are now can be highly profitable and most desired for investments, for banks to come in, find sponsorships to get involved and to take your entire brand, your corporation, and your small business to the next level. He's been sharing some great ideas about how instead of starting your small business from scratch, if you're truly passionate, there are resources out there where you can acquire an existing business with existing employees, with existing track record of excellence, so that you don't necessarily go through the growing pains of starting your small business from nothing and building it up to everything. There are opportunities that are out there where if you want to start your first food truck, you can acquire a food truck that's already making great food, being highly profitable, and not just from that, but any small business that anyone would want to get involved in. So check us out on the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube, man. Like, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to meeting and interacting with everyone during those chats as well.
There we go, man. And then after you finish looking at the Prime Real Estate Network, we invite you to come on out to our Builders Field Trip. Rick, he spoke about that earlier, how we're truly committed to that. We're going to be in Humble again in Balmoral. So just meet us at the model home. And, what you'll realize about this is that the community has multiple builders with so many homes for sale that you can actually market. They're open to you marketing and exposing these products, using it as a way to attract business. Prospective home buyers that are not represented by real estate agents, they literally roam these communities. They roam them constantly. So you put yourself in a position, again, to attract business and bring a level of awareness to what you're doing. And then the new home sales counselors are always looking to build relationships with agents that can help them sell more units. So the reason that we do this every week is to put our agents in a position to where you don't have to go out there and design these activities and these field trips. We put them together. You just got to show up, be consistent, and watch how your business takes off. So that's Thursday at 2:00. We're going to be meeting in Balmoral. And then on Saturday, we have us an open house. We'll be back in Balmoral. We're going to be doing an open house on this beautiful listing here, listed at $409,000. So come check it out. If you're in the market, you want to live in the Humble area, you want to be close to that lagoon, that crystal clear lagoon that they have out there,
Right.
then come check this property out. It could put you in a position to where you could take full advantage of the amenities of Balmoral, as well as be in an amazing home. So we're going to be there on Saturday at the open house. Again, make sure you go to www.brooksanddavis.com, reserve your spot, reserve your location, and come check us out. All right, quick upcoming things. We always like to make people aware of the fact that at Brooks and Davis, yes, we do the one-on-one coaching, which is our staple. We talked about that earlier, Rick, about value proposition. Well, at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, we highly pride ourselves on the level of coaching that we bring to our agents. That's something that we're always going to remember. I mentioned earlier, you got to find something that you're not going to let anybody outdo you on. And coaching is one of those things for Brooks and Davis. We're not going to let nobody outdo us on how we coach and support our agents. So in addition to the one-on-one, every day we have a group coaching opportunity where our agents spend an hour with me as CEO Coach Mike. I've invested a lot of, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours in getting trained, academic hours, and getting trained in coaching. So it isn't one of those things that I just woke up one day and decided I was going to call myself a coach. I went and got trained in it. So giving access to our agents, we're very committed to doing that. Also, Rick, I'm proud to say that I'm on my speaking tour, launching my speaking tour. Rick, I got 4 amazing topics that I've decided to focus on as it relates to teaching and developing groups. So I'm looking for people that want to bring me in, talk about goals, talk about leads, talk about the secret to managing stress, and talk about leadership, right? So those are my 4 topics. Right now, what I'm doing, Rick, is that I have a promotion that I'm running that if a person gets me on their calendar before March 3rd, then I'm going to waive my speaking fee. So I'll come and teach your group for an hour worth of content. I'll come do that at no cost as long as you book me before before March 3rd. So anybody out there that has a group that could use some development, some training, I'm getting a great response. People are already getting me on the calendar. So I'm super excited about that. But people can now book at CEO Coach Mike and get access to all the things that I'm already offering to my agents at no cost. And then finally, there's an opportunity, Rick. I felt like I wanted to expand my footprint to people. So now, in addition to the group coaching that Brooks and Davis agents have access to, I've created what's called the World Changers Table. And the World Changers Table is something that I do every Tuesday evening, and I alternate between in-person and virtual. So I created this group coaching concept. It only allows 4 people per session because I wanted to make sure that they were able to get maximum value. And now it's this group coaching opportunity for people that are not members of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Well, if they have a specific problem that they can't solve, they need the access to the expertise that I provide. They now can have access to that as an affordable coaching option. Because the reality is, yes, coaching is amazing and it's also expensive, right? But it should be, because what coaching is able to do, it's truly transformative. So we wanted to be able to offer that opportunity to individuals at an affordable cost. So that's why we've created the World Changers Table that I do every Tuesday. People can go to www.michaelgdavis.com/WCT. They can learn more about the World Changers Table. They can reserve their spot. They can pay for their seat. It's not a contract or anything. You just pay for your seat. You're there. We take care of whatever you have going on that you need help with. They can go to that website and they can actually book and take advantage of their seat. This week is in person. The seats are going. I don't know if we have any seats left for this week, but make sure you go and look because it's only 4 seats available. So, again, it's a lot going on, Rick. We're always going to stay active. We're always going to put ourselves out there to help as many people as possible. The reason that I'm doing what I'm doing with the speaking, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing with the World Changers Table is because I want to touch more people than I'm touching with Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I'm available. I want to leave a huge footprint, Rick.
Absolutely, man. And Coach, there's so many things going on this week. Let's just make sure that everybody has all the contact info, how to stay tapped in. So everybody on Instagram, you can follow Coach Mike at CEO Coach Mike. You can follow me at Prime Real Estate Rick. There's Coach Mike's link tree where you can definitely stay tapped into everything he has going on a regular basis, because we are always focused on educating ourselves, making ourselves better, and at the same time passing that knowledge on to everyone in the audience, everyone at the brokerage, and everyone that we meet and interact with in the general public. So, Coach Mike, is there any final words before we sign off this week, man? This has been a great episode.
No, it's been a very phenomenal episode. Shout out to everybody that participated with their comments. Shout out to those that brought the questions. We're just so grateful for those that participate with us during Monday Night Live. I believe we're creating a very valuable library for people to be able to access from years to come, Rick.
Absolutely, man. So thank you so much, Coach Mike. I know how it is, especially on these Mondays with so much that you have going on. I want to thank you personally on behalf of myself and everyone in the audience. Everyone in the audience, please take some time. Go to BND TV, go to the Prime Real Estate Network, smash the subscribe button, like these episodes, share them, and come back. Refresh yourself. Whenever you have that question, just keep in mind, Coach Mike might have already talked about this on Monday Night Live. Go back to the archive, check out some past episodes, man, and just always understand we're here to share, we're here to motivate, and we're here to inspire. So on behalf of myself, Rick Davis, and CEO Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis, I wish everyone in the audience to have a great week. And until we see you all next time, please be safe and be blessed.